Autograph Fisherman here, and welcome to Remember That Show. This is where I choose a show from our past and do a video on it. Starting this month, the last week of the month, I am going to look at a movie. So what movie will I pick for the first one? Well, it is Weird Science. Enjoy. Directed by John Hughes. Written by John Hughes. Based on Made of the Future by Al Feldstein. Produced by Joel Silver. Starring Anthony Michael Hall, Elon Mitchell Smith, Kelly LeBrock. Cinematography Matthew F. Leonetti. Edited by Mark Warner. Christopher Lebenzen. Scott Wallace. Music by Ira Newborn. Production companies Hughes Entertainment, Silver Pictures. Distributed by Universal Pictures. Release date August 2nd, 1985, United States. Running time 94 minutes. Country United States. Language English. Budget $7.5 million. Box office $38.9 million. Weird Science is a 1985 American teen science fantasy comedy film written and directed by John Hughes and starring Anthony Michael Hall, Elon Mitchell Smith, and Kelly LeBrock. It is based on the 1951 pre-comics Code comic, Made of the Future by Al Feldstein, which appeared in the magazine of the same name. The title song was written and performed by American New Wave band Oingo Boingo. The film is regarded as a cult classic. Plot: nerdy social outcast students Gary Wallace and Wyatt Donnelly of Shermer High School are humiliated by senior jocks Ian and Max for swooning over their cheerleader girlfriends Deb and Hilly. Humiliated and disappointed at their direction in life and wanting more, Gary convinces the uptight Wyatt that they need a boost in popularity in order to win their crushes away from Ian and Max alone for the weekend with Wyatt's parents gone. Gary is inspired by the 1931 film Frankenstein to create a virtual woman using Wyatt's computer, infusing her with everything they can conceive of to make the perfect dream woman. After they hook electrodes to a doll and hack into a government computer system for more power, a power surge creates Lisa, a beautiful and intelligent woman with reality-warping powers. She promptly produces a pink 1959 Cadillac Eldorado convertible to take the boys to a blues dive bar in Chicago, using her powers to procure fake IDs for them. They return home drunk, where Chet, Wyatt's mean older brother, extorts $175 from Wyatt in exchange for his silence. Lisa agrees to keep herself hidden from him, but she realizes that Gary and Wyatt, while sweet, are very uptight and need to unwind. After another humiliating experience at the mall when Max and Ian pour a slushie on Gary and Wyatt in front of a crowd, Lisa tells the bullies about a party at Wyatt's house. Before driving off in a Porsche 928 she conjured for Gary. Despite Wyatt's protests, Lisa insists that the party take place. She meets Gary's parents, Al and Lucy, who are shocked and dismayed at the things she says and her frank manner, to Gary's embarrassment, after she pulls a stainless .44 Magnum on them, later revealed to Gary to be a water pistol. She alters their memories so that Lucy forgets about the conflict. However, Al forgets that they have a son altogether. At the Donnelly house, the party has spun out of control. Gary and Wyatt take refuge in the bathroom, where they resolve to fun despite having embarrassed themselves in front of Deb and Hilly. In Wyatt's bedroom, Ian and Max convince Gary and Wyatt to recreate the events that created Lisa, but the process fails. Lisa chides them over their misuse of the process to impress their tormentors. She also explains that they forgot to connect the doll. Thus, with the bare but live electrodes resting on a magazine page showing a Pershing 2 medium-range ballistic missile, a real missile emerges, erupting through the floor and ceiling of the house. Meanwhile, Wyatt's grandparents arrive and confront Lisa about the party, but she places him in a frozen, catatonic state and hides him in a kitchen cupboard. Lisa realizes that the boys need a challenge to boost their confidence and has a gang of mutant bikers crash the party, causing chaos and terrorizing the guests. When the bikers take Deb and Hilly hostage, Wyatt and Gary confront them, causing Deb and Hilly to fall in love with them. The bikers leave, and the next morning, Chet returns from duck hunting to discover the house in disarray, including a localized snowstorm in his room and the missile. Lisa has the boys escort the girls home while she talks to Chet alone. Gary and Wyatt proclaim their feelings, and both girls reciprocate. Returning to the house, the boys discover Chet, now transformed into a foul, talking toad-like creature. He apologizes to Wyatt for his behavior. Upstairs, Lisa assures him that Chet will soon return to normal, and, realizing that her purpose is complete, tearfully hugs both Gary and Wyatt before dematerializing. As she leaves, the house is magically cleaned and everything transformed back to normal, including Chet. Wyatt's parents return home, completely unaware that anything unusual has happened. Later, Lisa turns up as a new gym teacher at Shermer High School. Cast: Anthony Michael Hall as Gary Wallace, Elon Mitchell-Smith as Wyatt Donnelly, Kelly LeBrock as Lisa, Bill Paxton as Chet Donnelly, Suzanne Snyder as Deb, Judy Aronson as Hilly, Robert Downey Jr., credited as Robert Downey, as Ian, Robert Rusler as Max, Vernon Wells as Lord General, a character reflecting his Mad Max 2 role, Britt Leach as Al Wallace, Barbara Lang as Lucy Wallace, Michael Berryman as Mutant Biker. In addition, Hughes' regular John Capellos plays Dino, while Playboy playmate Kim Allen, May 1982, has a cameo as a girl playing piano. Production: model Kelly Berg was initially cast as Lisa, but she left after 2 days due to creative differences. LeBrock was hired as her replacement. Vernon Wells reprises his memorable biker character Wes from Mad Max 2, but is credited in this movie as Lord General. Filming was originally planned to begin on September 24th, 1984, in Skokie, Illinois, but was ultimately delayed to October 2nd, 1984, and the location changed to the Northbrook Court Shopping Mall in Northbrook, Illinois. Most of the location shooting was filmed around neighborhoods outside of Chicago, Illinois, whereas the rest of the production was filmed on sound stages and the backlit at Universal City Studios in Los Angeles, California. Production wrapped on December 21st, 1984. The production was kept closed in order to keep the film's plot a secret. Reception: Roger Ebert, who gave the film 3 out of 4 stars, called LeBrock wonderful in her role, and thought that as a result the film was funnier and a little deeper than predictable story it might have been. Janet Maslin of the New York Times wrote that Mr. Hughes shows that he can share the kind of dumb joke that only a 14-year-old boy could love. There are enough movie-going 14-year-old boys to make a hit out of Weird Science, of course, but for the rest of the population, its pandering is strenuous enough to be cause for alarm. Variety wrote, Weird Science is not nearly as weird as it should have been and, in fact, is a rather conventional kids in heat film, and a chase one at that. Director-writer John Hughes squanders the opportunity to comment on the power struggle between the sexes for a few easy laughs. Gene Siskel of the Chicago Tribune gave the film 1.5 stars out of 4 and wrote, What a disappointment Weird Science is. A wonderful writer-director has taken a cute idea about 2 teenage Dr. Frankensteins creating a perfect woman by computer and turned it into a vulgar, mindless, special effects cluttered wasteland. Sheila Benson of the Los Angeles Times described LeBrock as triumphant and the film's greatest asset, but thought the film's appeal was limited to audiences of 15-year-old boys and maybe the 16-year-olds, if they aren't yet too fussy. Rita Kempley of the Washington Post wrote, Unbelievably, John Hughes, the maker of 16 Candles and The Breakfast Club, writes and directs this snickering, sordid, special effects fantasy, with Kelly LeBrock in a demeaning role as love slave to a pair of 15-year-olds. On the review aggregator website Rotten Tomatoes, the film holds an approval rating of 60% based on 40 reviews, with an average rating of 5.7/10. The website's critics' consensus reads, hardly in the same league as John Hughes' other teen movies, the resolutely goofy Weird Science nonetheless gets some laughs via its ridiculous premise and enjoyable performances. Box office. It grossed $23,834,048 in North America and $15.1 million in other territories, totaling $38,934,048 worldwide. Soundtrack. The film's theme song, Weird Science, was performed by Oingo Boingo and written by the band's frontman Danny Elfman. The soundtrack album was released on MCA Records. Side 1, Weird Science, Oingo Boingo, $348. Private Joy, Shane for $17. The Circle, Max Carl, $346. Turn On, Kim Wilde, $440. Deep in the Jungle, Wall of Voodoo, $348. Side 2, Do Not Disturb, Knock Knock, The Broken Homes, 342. Forever, Taxi, 353. Why Don't Pretty Girls Look at Me, The Wild Men of Wonga, 330. Method to My Madness, The Lords of New Church, 317. 80s, Killing Joke, 350. Weird Romance, Ira and the Geeks, 210. Legacy, television series. A television series based on the film ran for 88 episodes, from 1994 to 1998. Following the same basic plot as the film, the series starred Vanessa Angel as Lisa, Michael Manasseri as Wyatt, John Mallory Asher as Gary, and Lee Tergesen as Chet. Remake and sequel. As of 2013, Universal Studios was planning a Weird Science remake with original producer Joel Silver returning, and Michael Bacall writing the film. The film was set to attempt to distinguish itself from the original Weird Science by being an edgier comedy, in line with 21, Jump Street, and The Hangover, which were R-rated. The studio stated the rating for this Weird Science remake was not certain at that stage of the movie's development. 15, however, as of mid-2024, nothing of the remake had materialized. In 2017, Elon Mitchell Smith talked about a sequel to Weird Science starring Channing Tatum. Well, that was another Remember That show. Yes, this week was a short one, but I hope you still enjoyed. Stay tuned in next week to see what show I will choose to show off. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe. As always, until next time, keep on collecting. Bye.